Morning, everybody. My name's Graham, POCGamer, and today is part 4 of our mapping adventure, creating a map where space and distance are compressed in favor of focusing on locations, themes, events, and concepts like that. Yeah, if you haven't already, please hit the. Oh, that's irritating. Just gonna move that. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons yet, please do so. And you guys hit that bell too. You get alerts for when I'm doing this sort of stuff. Because yeah, every Wednesday for the last few weeks, doing a good job out here making maps. So, what are we doing today? Well, today we finally get to get serious about placing settlements. And I'm looking at this map and realizing that this is probably the wrong one. So I'm just going to back out, go to this one. So looking at that last map, I'm like, huh, I remember putting more stuff there. There we go, that's better. All right, so last day we left off, lots of big changes. So made the desert a little more interesting looking. We changed the rivers, so it's got a nice, it's got some nice river bends going on. It's not just a slash across the map. We added some sunken continent area, uh, and I'm just gonna get rid of that right away. Um, yeah, I forgot to delete an asset. That's something that happens when you're using this program or any other program. Like this is you'll think you're done for the day on a map, and then you'll look at the image of it or the printout, even better if you've got the facility for printing, and realize that something's in the wrong place or you forgot some asset somewhere, and then you have to run back and change it. Okay. So some other stuff we're going to do today is just before we get onto the settlements. I know I'm just starting to get serious about them. Uh, we are going to make this into a single landmass. Okay, so show this area is sunken now, but was not always. Go to our brush and go to the background. A little bigger. There we go. Catalog. Ocean. Hmm. Oh, swiggle. There we go. Oh, it's not quite dark enough. There we go. So we're doing this to show that there is some depth change as it heads down to this before it hits the open ocean color that we see over here. It's just a nice way to show there's some difference. There we go. Yeah, I like how that looks. I like how that looks. Nice. So we go to fit screen. So this really shows now that this was part of the land. So you've got features sort of going down towards it. Then we still have our little mountaintop islands going on. So looking good. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That looks nice. Maybe we'll do a little bit of that down here too. So transition these river areas here. Transitional spaces. All right, stamps. Now, one of the things that I want to bring up is that just because it's on the map at this scale, so flip back, look at the larger map here. So just because it's at this scale does not mean that, pardon me, there can't be more out there. For example, just because this is the only major area that shows cliffs on the map right now, doesn't mean that when you zoom into another area, you can't add some cliffs or a waterfall or rapids or another smaller river, things like that. The point is that the map is mutable and that these are only the major terrain features that are being displayed on this map. And when the next phase of the series starts and I'm working on the smaller quarter size maps, that's where that's going to become more apparent because we can start adding more details and more locations that aren't just sort of like the gross overview. All right, where's my see here what I have going on. So I'm going to start down here. So this was I just have Empire written beside it. That's awesome. Um it looks like I've got a bridge with some cities on either side. Little village. Okay. Just come down here. So we've got would be a good place to place that. So first, let's get our let's make our choices here. So we've already used. So let's go to human buildings. Let's just go to human buildings. That's all we got to work with. No. Fantasy world. Capital? City? Here we go. Dwarven icons, Elven. Point of interest icons. Yeah, I do like that. That's cool. I dig that. Like I love that they have got some options there. Icons, regular icons. Isometric points of interest. Here we go. So let's go with Human City 2. Actually, hang on. What size do we do this? Size 100. Okay. Oh, that dwarf fortress is huge compared to this human city. That's hilarious. This bridge is confusing to me. Okay. Why is the city so small, but the bridge is so huge? Here, catalog. All right, there's our human city. I think, yeah. Make it distinct. We gotta bump those sizes up to 130. Just so they're scaling nicely. So there's our bridged human capital. And let's go down here to stamp tool, catalog. I think this one's a better thematic match. Towers are smaller, so towers are 50, I believe. Yeah. Way up here on the edge of the empire. There you go, buddy. Let's see here. Oh, what else we got going on here? So we have a little village down there. Nice little starter area village down here in the hills, away from the capital. Oh, that human keep. Oh, that keep looks cool. Yeah, it's going somewhere. Keep out over here. Got a little tension between the empires, kingdoms. Not sure what's in the desert yet. Should probably write some lore for that. That dwarf village is adorable. Is it right on the coast? Or oh, it's back. All right. Little human village there. But nothing down by the river mouth? I'm going to put another keep down here. And a village. All right. Yeah, I like that. Hmm. Okay. So now in here, this is where it's going to get interesting. Because, oh, got a message from somebody. What's going on? Oh, yeah. That's something from other work. Yeah, that's, I don't need to get into that. So we need to go into the catalog, open the catalog, and let's look at Elven, Elven icon? No, Elven buildings. There we go. See what everything we've got. Well, it's not necessarily going to be elves in the woods. It might be. I don't know. This is a very generic map right now. Um, but one of the things that's key on this sort of map is that there aren't going to be a lot of locations. So each location has to have its own visual style. It's more important than it would be on, say, like a larger, more conventional topographical map where you'd see like the actual like shifts in architecture, culture, and everything else like that over a large space. Because this is more compressed, things need to be visually distinct in order to really start conveying information quickly. So, oh boy, let's see here. I like this elven. I like this one. This is nice. This one's kind of goofy, but I like this cone one for some reason. Let's zoom in on that, see how that's. Yeah, 100 is going to be way too big. So let's see, 75 is too big. 60 is a good size. It's a little bit concealed, but that's nice. And then back up here, open that catalog up again. And we're going to pick this little village. Oh, wow, yeah, that is huge. Set the village down here by the lake. And then we're going to. Actually, I think that's pretty good for the trees acting around it. There we go. Oh, sorry, there's something wrong with my eye. Yeah, so that way, yeah, it's a nice little elven village there. let's give them, I don't know how many, do they have keeps? 3 towers, a city, a capital, buildings. Oh, that's a little disappointing. Give them a few extra towers. Make sure they're all layering properly. There we go. All right, so this is our forest nation here. Got their big magical trees. And so what I can do is when I go into the quarter size map for this, there's some tools in there for what was it? It's like karst landscapes and stuff like that. So it's like bridges going from thing to thing. So I can actually develop these as settlements as well, which I am going to do. Hmm. Right, let's lay some ruins out over here. Hmm. Just icons. That's okay. Let's go for Fantasy Regional HD. Now we're talking. Let's throw a ruin down in there. A little smaller. I really wish there was more ruins. That's okay. So jungles come to be used for two things. Um, One, I'm actually going to use these in the jungle itself, in the little jungle region. But it also has all these great tents, which are fantastic for the plains area. And so I'll be using those for the plains area and avoiding using the jungle totems until much, much later. Okay, so jungle temples. Towers. Like for an idea of how big this is. That's 100% of the size. That's the level of detail that's on this particular icon. It's pretty wild to me. So that's why it looks a little fuzzy when it's scaled down so small. They're up there by the water supply. Yeah, things get forgotten way too easily. Our water supplies in oh, it doesn't get smaller than 10. Let's see. Throw a tower there. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to move up. Switch this. Make sure I haven't left any jungle buildings. Elsewhere. Nope, doing good. All right. What do we got to work with? Yeah, I love this. In the regional one, we've got Babylonian buildings now. That's great. Core, nope. Mm. Might press that into service as a keep. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do that before I forget. I'm going to shrink that down a little bit. Nice. Yeah, I like that. Okay, back to business. Let's see. I was looking for. So we got those. That's something to work with. Ah, but these areas. You know, what do they have for Fantasy World? Do they have work buildings? Here we go. Is the orc buildings. There are a couple of orc villages in there. So again, limited by the palette that's offered. These don't necessarily have to be orc buildings. Anything can be in them. Same with the elf buildings, the dwarf buildings, the human buildings. Um, they're more there for visual style than as a guide to what's actually living in places. Let's compare that to this. Smaller. Yeah, that's better. I like that better than the visual messaging is important, but you also don't want to. Ah, it's a bit of a it's a really fine line to walk between giving visual distinction and giving visual cues as to the sort of operation that things are. And what I try to avoid in a lot of my work is I try to avoid giving overt signals where they're not needed. There we go. So, for example, this orc stuff, this is more manageable. This could be a lot of things. In fact, I've used in my own maps before, I've used these sorts of things for like beast folk and stuff like that, or groups of humans or elves or whatever that hunt like giant monsters. And they have all these giant bones, giant tusks, giant horns, all laying around after these battles. So what do you do with them? Well, you repurpose them and use them to build homes. So I really like these ones because it gives you options with the visual style they are. Whereas the back over here with the regional HD stuff, when you move down to orc buildings, these are giving a lot more. These are communicating more and not necessarily great stuff. Um, so things look more jagged, more ragged, more unkempt, and it's. I feel that closes options off, and so I'm not going to use that for this. But I am going to use some of these little some of these because these are handy. These are things that you can use, and that honestly looks like a little village to me. I mean, this actually is a village. Here we go, Orc Village. Let's make it a little smaller. Let's put one there, and then just had an idea. Is I'll put a larger capital style building up there. Then coming back into the catalog. Oh, nice little people. Skip past all that jazz. Back up to where are those tents? Here we go. And I'm going to pick one of those sort of conical ones there. catalog. Yeah, alternate dwarf stuff there. Like, if you play your cards right, like there's at least seven or eight stylistic groupings in this game that you can draw on to make stuff, and I really like that. Wish there was more, obviously, but I will take what I can get. All right. So those areas occupied. So let's place that a little. There we go. So when I get into this area, this is, we're going to have some sort of elevator connecting these two, and I think that's going to look good. What else have I got going on here? Just a note that says Ice Kingdom. That's awesome. Okay. These icons are super handy too. Like, you can simplify this map further by using icons, which is really nice. A little bit limited. There's some things that are missing, like bridges and stuff like that, but you can still convey a lot of information with just flat icons. Hmm. No, I need to resist the urge to redo this whole thing. All right, so I need to find something wintry. Is there winter in here? Okay. I love that. Temples and strongholds, that's awesome. Okay. So let's see what dwarves have. No, what are humans? Humanoids? Oh, this literally people. Core. Human buildings. Full foreground. This is something that I haven't done before. And what I'm what I'm going to be doing is trying to brush snow onto this building. No. It's not working. How do you do that? Well, I mean, I guess I could move it. Oh, I can't put the icon in the background. I'm okay. I'm okay with that fortress being there. That's fine. I just make it a little smaller. Let's compare it to the other. Oh, wow. It's been a while. I've not saved. Let's save that. Well, size comparison, that's not bad. Like, that's acceptable size. I just wish I knew how to better make that look wintry. I'm sure I'll figure something out, or I'm gonna look it up on here on YouTube afterwards and be like, "Oh, that's how I do it. I'm a tool bag." But yeah, that's some here. Let's see, got the deserts done, plains, uh, ice palace. Yeah, that's already up. The ice fortress, sky dragon ruins. Okay, not sure what a sky dragon ruin is, but it sounds cool. Apparently, I wanted to put it up here somewhere. Let's look up tower. Whirlpool tower. Yeah, there's some good icons here. I may, when I collapse it down to do the quarter size map, I may actually do re-icon this. Um, these icons, because man, some of those are cool looking. A dragon stamp? Heraldry and decorations. Well, that's big. There we go. So something's going on here. I think I need to use some of the that'll be more developed in at the regional level as opposed to on the world level. But having three dragons circling around there certainly communicates that something is happening. Uh, yes, I dig that. I'm not putting anything into the swamp. Swamp could just be the swamp. That'll be nice. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, text. So yeah, I'm not going to do text yet. Path tool. So free draw versus segments. So let's see how this pans out. So yeah, there's one trail. Okay, so now we're seeing the challenges that you get with freehand is that you eventually run out of mouse space. So let's see. Let's experiment with the segment plan. So as you can see, segments. As long as you're clicking fairly regularly, you can still create a fairly natural looking curve. You can also see where it's going to go. It's a little bit friendlier to operate with a mouse. These roads are seldom straight. So that's a big thing, at least for me, when you're designing um, fantasy settings. Yeah, roads don't go straight. Not very often. That's a very modern thing. And so having your roads sort of meander a little bit, still generally going in a straight line, and creates a bit of a more realistic sort of effect. And of course, all of this is purely for show. Like it's not a concrete like this road has these waves in these places. You can change all this like at the regional level, or even like at a smaller level than that, to fit your story or to fit your ideas. Because maps are never set in stone. Things are always changing, and it's good to remember that. Another fun thing you can do to explain like why roads don't follow rivers exactly is to simply remember that rivers change paths quite frequently. Okay, so I want to change the color. Show this is a road owned by somebody else. Nice. So this area is only going to be accessible by water. So what I need to do now is I need to add another desert building. What size is that one? 40. Okay. So got some trails and got some settlements laid out. I'm digging this. I'm liking where this is going. So I'm going to save it. And then we'll just do over the last couple minutes, we'll just review what happened today. And yeah, a big thing to remember with this, with any sort of map making, is that the gross details, like the big areas, um, all that sort of stuff, is relatively quick to place. And then you'll spend some time refining it and getting it going. But it's when you start getting into the finer details and the smaller objects, that's when things start to get more fiddly because you're actually getting into, um, pardon me, sorry everybody, you're actually getting into more nuts and bolts about what's going on, and trying to fit everything and make it match. You're playing a lot more with scale, a lot more with size, and that affects things. So, how did we do today? So, lots of stuff going on today. So, we colored in the background of the map over here and created an effect showing a little bit more depth change. So, it shows that there's, ground collapsed, fits in with the map a little bit more, little bit nicer. Got rid of the forgotten asset from last week. Added this dragon area, which will be developed more in the regional map. We placed so many settlements. Lots of settlements going out today. And got our trail system going. So pretty good overall. So this is 4 hours in, and the big thing that this map really needs now is labeling. And that's going to be a whole episode in of itself, because playing with labeling, splining, which is like how you curve labels to match things, fonts, text, placement, that's a whole operation. And we are going to do it together. It's going to be fun, because this map is getting close to being complete for usage as a world map. Not as a obviously not as an adventure map yet, but as a world map, as a place to say, okay, like, this is where we're going, and to give quick visual distinction to the different locations. It's got all that going on now, and we're communicating that there's different cultures and different things going on, but we aren't necessarily communicating what those cultures are, which is something else that I think is important. So next week, see you on Wednesday. We'll be back doing more live mapping, so much labeling, and you'll join me as we move this map. It'll probably take maybe 1, 2, tops 3 more sessions to finish this map up, so it'll be nice and beautiful and ready to go as a world map. And then we're going to break it down and start playing the regional stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Please look me up on social media. You can find me as POCGamer. And yeah, please like and subscribe, and I hope that you have a great day.